Material Components, Season 3. Prelude number 5. Cherish. Greetings and welcome to Material Components, the actual play RPG show all about a multiverse that is broken and the adventurers putting it back together. Brought to you by the Punch Up Entertainment Network. I am your humble dungeon master, Mike Gargoni, and joining me, as always, are my stalwart adventurers. Hey, adventurers. Thanks for being here.
Aw, shucks.
You're welcome.
Yo.
Glad to be here.
Hey, everybody. I am Olivia, and I will be playing the Under-Assistant Sub-Manager of Temporal Distribution Mechanics, Designator C4UASOTDM0110.
I am Elliot, and I will be playing Cherish Ironstryke, the Executive Assistant to Department of Lemire Intake in the City of Brass's branch of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant.
I am Michael, and I will be playing Anaxasia, the Subliminal Messaging and Dream Tampering Representative. Yep.
I'm Reed, and I'll be playing Morton Bloodfeast, Cult Operations Manager and Youth Outreach.
I'm Cole, and I will be playing Sheriel, the head of Maggot Husbandry and Soul Acquisitions.
Indeed. Because as we enter this, the last of our one-shots before entering Season 3 proper, we must descend. Cherish Ironstryke, you are falling. Every step a descent. The corridor you walk down is a drab gray, lit with sullen yellows that have burned for so long that they have mutated into an ancient orange malign fluorescence. You have been called forth, summoned, really, so you move down the hallway of this, the City of Brass branch of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant. When you are not here, you dream of other things, other places. Friendship, love, a valley of peace from before all of this. When your eyes are closed, you can still see it. But when your eyes are open, all you see is the fall. Blink, and you see Jet reaching out to you, hands pleading, lips parted in prayer. Open your eyes, and you're still there in that hallway, falling. Closed once more, and you see an impossible choice given to a girl, that child who is you, barely given a chance to grow up. Another step, another descent, down the hallway, toward the door. His door. Blink, and you see your own face, over and over and over again, an endless parade of you, with faces twisted by different hellish lives, each one coming to kill, and each one coming to die. You stop. You open your eyes. You're at the door. His door. The black door. If there is a deeper pit in all of the Royal, you do not know of it. You are fallen now, Cherish Ironstryke. You have been summoned. The black door does not wait for you to open it. Your choice was made long before you reached for that gleaming handle. All falls stop here. at the door of the Chief Executive Officer of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant, the Lord of the Nine, the reigning serpent, old hoof and horn himself, Asmodeus. The door opens before you, and a smooth voice says, Miss Ironstryke, do come in. The door will close behind you.
Cherish will nod and enter.
Who is the Cherish that we see entering the office of Asmodeus on this day?
This is a Cherish who has become a woman, an adult, very quickly by necessity. She is almost stern, kind of just walks through these corridors with a placid face, shoulders back, exuding confidence. She is looking prim and proper, not the dust-ridden, scrungily clothed sorcerer who was running around the valley for months on end.
As you step into the office of Asmodeus, you see a figure that you have become familiar with over the course of your time in the Royal. According to the BMC, it has been 5 years since an event they call Valley Break. A event which you personally took part in which the cycle of the Tempest Rest Valley was broken, and mortal souls were released out into the multiverse, reigniting a cycle that had once upon a time fueled gods, devils, and other powers beside. Now that that cycle has restarted out in the multiverse proper, many wheels are turning, not least of which is the actions and considerations of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant, an organization which, amidst the chaos of the Royal, attempts to establish some sort of fixed stability. As you move into the office, you see the form of Asmodeus, his bright red flesh topped with 2 small black horns. He is dressed in a totally black business suit, accented with a little pin of white at his collar that is the symbol of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant. It is 9 concentric cogs around a central diamond shape.
What can I do for you, sir?
The devil himself will look up at you with black eyes, and he will smile as he gestures towards a seat across from his desk, and you hear the door behind you shunk close of its own volition.
Thank you. And Cherish will take a seat.
In front of the devil is a series of folders, a large stack of thick embossed coins, and several Rolodexes off to one side. The Rolodexes seem to flick of their own accord here and there, pausing occasionally, and when they stop, Asmodeus' eyes will flick over to them, but he never seems too bothered with what is being revealed there, though you cannot see what names and other information is being revealed to him. The folder in front of him, you can see, is a thick manila number that has a large printed series of words on the front that says Special Projects Investigation or Inspection Team. You've never heard that particular designation before. But when you sit down, he places a hand on the folder and says, Miss Ironstryke, your time here at the Baator-Mechanus Concordant has been a fruitful one. Despite your extracurricular activities and some friction with your former manager. But I have summoned you today to inform you that you're being reassigned.
I see.
And he will push himself up from his desk, hand still on that folder, and he will begin to pivot around, his hand slowly, sinuously wrapping around the edge of the folder even as he moves around the desk. It seems like his arm shouldn't be long enough to stay on the folder as he moves around the exterior of the desk, but even as he comes around to stand near you, the folder is collected and is held near his chest, despite the fact that he should have had to break contact with it as he moved around his long, wide desk. What are your thoughts on a leadership position here, Cherish?
It's not something I was expecting.
Indeed. Your expectations of this place, of what we do, have they been defied, met? I'm curious, in your last quarterly review, while your work is sufficient and detailed, I'm curious about what you believe we do here is good.
Well, speaking on expectations, it is certainly did not align with those when I first got here. My experiences were mostly with my father's domain.
Ah, yes. Kenya.
And I will admit to feeling a bit like a fish out of water with, I suppose, the technology in the Royal.
Yes, it seemed the old mage kept things rather stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
But your experiences with my other profession was rather one-sided. Now that you've been working and living among the BMC for so long, has your perception changed at all, I wonder?
Not particularly.
Fascinating. Cherish, walk with me. And he will move past you, and you hear the door open, though he never touches it. As you follow him out, back into the hallway you entered, it is a different hallway. You know that Asmodeus can come and go as he pleases within at least this branch of the Baator-Mechanus Concordant, and most of Baator itself. He winds his way through what you recognize as some of the executive suites on the upper floors of the BMC towers within the City of Brass. You can see glances out windows through huge, slightly smoky glass panes into a sprawling metropolis of riotous neon reds and dark smoky oranges and the blacks of iron and glass. Flying and floating vehicles move here and there, and everywhere you see the stark grays and blues of BMC officers in the near distance, keeping a watchful gaze at the city around them. Off in the distance, you see the enormous, absolutely stark profile of the furnace, that largest of hilltops within the City of Brass, which rests upon it the palace of the Queen of Fire and the Sultan, the Grand Sultan of the City of Brass. It is these two opposing monoliths, the BMC Tower with its twisted shape looking like the triple helix that rises from the center of the city, and that minareted top of burnished copper and burning bronze that stand in opposition to each other, the two great powers leaning on each other within this city. As you move through the executive suites, you hear office chatter here and there, and everywhere there are eyes that glance up and note Asmodeus is passing with you at his tail. It has not been easy for Cherish within the Baator-Mechanus Concordant, not least of which is because of your association with Asmodeus himself. There are many within this organization who believe you have received special treatment because you are something of a pet to the Lord of the Nine.
I mean, they're not wrong, but, like, it already sucks enough that that's true, and the fact they have to be mean about it isn't helping.
Covert glances and half-whispered words follow you as you move through this upper region of the BMC Tower. You see extraplanar creatures of all stripes working here among that which brings order to the BMC and the Royal at large. As you're moving, you are struck by representations. There are giant painted depictions and like statues and little representations here and there of the greatest pinnacle of BMC propaganda, and that is the three gifts of Asmodeus. That which the BMC gives to all within the Royal. And that is stability, safety, and time. You see a portrait of Asmodeus creating 9 concentric cog-looking spheres around different points in the Royal. You see representations of the City of Brass and the Dancing Palace and other locations controlled by courts of the Fae and other grand powers. You see a dark, mist-shrouded forest that represents Barovia, also controlled by the BMC. You see a tower with many floating spheres controlled by the BMC. Stability. You see propaganda posters of BMC agents standing against things writhing out of holes in the world. You see them standing stalwart, asking for the help of the citizen of the royal to stand against that which bring chaos. Representations of weird swirls of color appearing out of nowhere, of tentacular creatures crawling up from the shadows. The BMC brings safety. And you see depictions of Modrons giving gifts to crowds of bright-faced, dead-eyed children. You see those children in those same art depictions growing into adults because the BMC gives time itself to the people of the Royal.
Cherish has a thought that she has, and this is not the first time she has had this thought, and they called Tirza Cage Keeper.
Finally, Asmodeus brings you to what looks like a large executive suite. It is a combination of meeting room and kitchen and lounge, and there is clearly like a small workspace off to one side. It mostly is one large room with a huge conference table in it. There's a small kitchenette off to one side that looks like it has a sliding pane door that can be closed into it. There's a small series of what look like little cubicles with sliding doors off to the other side of the room that you can go into for like isolated workspace. And then there are doors across from you on the other end of the conference room table that open out onto a wide balcony that stares off over the city of Brass. The doors leading out there are currently closed, but you know if they were opened, sweltering heat would pour in. The temperature control of the BMC tower is kept for a average sapience comfortability level. As you stride in, we see several other figures sitting around the table. Honestly, most of you are a little unsure about why you are here. You have some inkling of why you might be summoned, and you have talking points that you for sure would like to share, knowing that you've been summoned here by Asmodeus himself, though seeing the other people around this table maybe raises some eyebrows about precisely the nature of this meeting. You were told this is under the direction of something called the Special Projects Inspection Team, and you do not know what that is. But around the table, we see a angelic-looking figure, a strange mechanical creature, a eel-headed individual, and a human, for all intents and purposes, looking fella dressed in a business suit, but with like a cowl up over the shoulders and like grease paint across their eyes.
Classic
It's a Friday.
morning.
It's business casual. Sorry.
So you all see Asmodeus stride into this room with Cherish Ironstryke, the focal point of a lot of office gossip, stroll in behind him.
Immediately stand up and bow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bows for days. Several bows.
Okay.
Modrons don't. Bowing is such an organic thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Mhm.
require having a torso.
I also, don't have a torso to speak of.
Do a flip. Are you?
Oh,
Asmodeus waves a hand, gesturing for you all to sit down, and he gestures towards an empty chair at the head of the table for you to approach, Cherish.
I will do it. Fake it till you make it.
As you sit down, he places that folder he's been carrying on the table in front of you that says Special Projects inspection team, and he will say, "Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend this meeting. These spaces have been booked for the next 2 hours for your use. I recommend you use the time wisely." And he will look to you, Cherish, and nod, and turn and leave.
All right. I will kind of pick the folder up in front of me and flip it open. Like, I'm gonna kill myself.
Inside is BMC letterhead, and the first page is mostly blank, but for a small typed sentence at the top left corner that asks, like in a strike font, "What is the special project?"
Oh, great question.
Flipping
the
through.
equivalent of just opening the folder and it's just a picture of Asmodeus giving you finger guns. Like, you got this, kid.
Flipping through
One
the rest
big
of
Mad
the
Libs.
sheets.
The rest, behind that, like, giant waste of paper, because the rest of the page is just blank.
Yeah.
Beyond that is a series of dossiers on each of the individuals in front of you.
Okay. And are those dossiers any different from the public information that you had sent to
They're absolutely
us?
not.
Okay.
Even our... Well, I was going to say something. Never mind.
So what you all see is the devil himself stride into this room, gesture for his protege, something, to sit down, hands her a folder that says Special Projects Inspection Team. She sits down, opens it up, and begins reading it. And on the second page, because the first page, the font's too small for anyone else to make out, but the second page is clearly the beginning of a dossier on one of you.
We can see that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I was trying to hold it. I was imagining she was holding it up to try to
okay.
That makes
block
sense.
that.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Because she had a feeling when he was like, all right, I'm going to leave, that it's like, this motherfucker left all this blank. Sleight of hand.
While Cherish is doing that, Sheriel is going to stand up and walk over to the kitchenette and pick up the tray of cupcakes that she made and bring them back over and set one down in front of each of y'all and say, "I hope y'all like it. Now, I was reminded that due to regulations, creativity with the flavors was not allowed, so I hope you all enjoy soul flavor. These are refined from the finest of soul larvae, all grade A. Graded them myself yesterday. Juiced them too. Enjoy."
Are any of the soul larvae living still?
You know, I do have one nearby. I
I
can
prefer them wriggling.
I thought you might. Let me call my assistant. He who has flayed 1,000 souls really fast. He'll run one over.
Thank you. I'll return this one.
The cupcake screams slightly as you push it across the table.
Do I get advantage because Sheriel was distracting everyone?
Sure.
Can I make a perception check to against that sleight of hand?
Let's see how good the sleight of hand is.
13.
13. I will say that almost all of you, aren't paying attention to the cupcake. You're paying attention to the thing that is trying to be hidden from you, as is your wont within the BMC.
Yeah.
Ariel stood up to get better view.
And Cheryl stood up and like walked around the back specifically to see.
I do call my assistant to have him bring over a live soul larvae for Anexia.
Yeah, an imp appears with like this writhing maggot thing in its arms with a human face on the end of it that is
They're like 5 feet long.
Yeah. And the imp like poofs into existence on top of the table and like drops this horrible slimy maggot in front of the eel-headed earthworm Jim looking motherfucker.
Yeah, definitely a man in a... Well, think more the episode of Pinky and the Brain where Brain's in a person suit.
Sure.
So,
it's just a mouse head in the giant person suit.
Yeah, but instead of a mouse head, it's an eel coming out as if it's sort of like a hidden cave or whatever. But the eel does appear to be controlling this humanoid body because the hands reach out and sort of proposition, takes a look at the weird human-esque face. And then the first jaw opens, the second jaw opens, and then just slowly begins to devour this whole thing in one go.
Yeah.
Now, do you like to know their names?
No.
C4 takes like a long beat of just looking at this cupcake and then looks up and says, I do not have a mouth or a digestive system. But thank you for your offer of co-workership.
That'll keep for 1,000 years. So if you get into some magical accident that suddenly renders you with biological functions, you can have it then.
I will take this under advisement.
Well, now that all of that's out of the way, Cherish has closed the folder. This meeting will come to order. Sheriel, it seemed that you had something you wanted to report on.
Yes, actually. Let me properly introduce myself. Yes, I am Sheriel. I am the head of maggot husbandry and soul acquisition, though I do think that it should be known that our department is in the middle of a rebrand. We are rebranding to aspirant intake and cultivation. Sounds better for the mortals, seeing as now we have mortal co-workers. So if you'll turn your attention to the projector over here.
And there's this huge boxy mechanism that is like probably like 3 feet by 4 feet long. And when it turns on, it like makes this popping sound, like pop, 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 pop. And it like slowly begins to like heat up the room. If you're sitting near it, it is putting off a ton of heat, but it like this little lens at the front flickers to life. And there's a series of slides that get projected on the far side of the room.
Well, this is a excerpt from our annual report, and I have included an action plan based on the contents of it. He who has flayed 1,000 souls, will you click on?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so our mission at the BMC, as you all know, is to impose order and law onto a broken and frayed remnants of the multiverse for a more organized future. In this presentation, we'll first go through a department overview. Then we'll see a throughput summary, remedial actions, corruption factors, and then challenges that we will face. So part 1 is a department overview. Aspirant intake and cultivation oversees the soul pipeline, monitoring and controlling for quality to ensure grade A and above souls for use in commodities exchange, food processing, and internal promotion. Let's talk about our throughput summary now. As you can see, aspirant throughput suffers as a result of falling intake due to dwindling mortal supply. We currently have 13,000 vacated positions. In the last year, we have had 2,600 aspirant promotions. We have had greater than 1,100 shortfall.
One moment, Sheriel.
Yes.
It appears you are simply reading the PowerPoint word for word. Could this not have been an email?
An excellent point, C4. I will note that down.
Very well. Moving on. As you can see here, for those of you who are not aware, for every batch of souls that moves into the BMC, that moves into our possession, becoming aspirants, becoming soul larvae, of them all, 84.3% are lost in the cultivation process. They are consumed by the other aspirants. 13.6% get receive a grade A. Those we use for food production. 2% are acceptable for commodity exchange. They are grade S. Only 0.1% are grade S+. Those are our candidates for internal promotion, our future lemures. Yay! As you can see, these are all achieved. All of this is achieved after our partners from Mechanus impose the law of large numbers. Without that, these percentages could shift all over the place, and we'd never know what we were going to get. Moving on. As you can see, aspirant intake continues to fall quarter on quarter for the last 4 quarters.
The slide is always already. The slideshow is already like 4 slides ahead of what Sheriel is talking about.
For the Anim, we are above average. We are above the red line for what we are for what our quotas are. However, if these trends continue, we will fall below. Now, our grade 4 quotas by the 4th quarter quotas by grade. We fell well short of our grade S's at only 20% of our quota, 55% of grade S, 65% of grade A. And as you can see, while we did have plenty of the rest, those, once again, are all lost during the Bloodfest.
All of you are also lost because the graphs on the screen do not correlate with what Sheriel is saying right now.
What?
You're already on a slide that's labeled challenges, and it's just been moving. Like, the slides themselves are moving faster than Sheriel is actually talking. And that makes
Morton
this like slight
there just,
it's the slight discord in your brain that's making it like challenging to focus on what's being said. This is hell.
Who am I sitting next to?
You are sitting in between Morton and C4.
So
I think as Cheriel is talking, the head sort of like slithers out of the torso a little bit and sort of puts the eel face sort of near Morton and says, "Let's hope this presentation's almost over. I've got shit to do." And slithers back into the torso.
So Go ahead.
Go. No, it's good. It's bad
So,
joke.
what remedial actions can we take to remedy this situation? We have 3 proposals, which represent a conservative approach, a more moderate approach, and a very aggressive approach to attempt to deal with these circumstances.
The slideshow has restarted, and now the slides appear to be being shown in a random order.
I know this is hell, but this is hell.
Am I to understand that the falling aspirant level is the special project we are meant to be inspecting? I was not briefed for this.
That was my question. What is this special project?
I would advise you
and-
to direct those questions to Miss Ironstrike.
All of us just turn.
During Sheriel's presentation, the strategy there was twofold. One,
Still going.
giving her time to vamp, or giving her time to scramble to think of something, and also observing the others during Sheriel's presentation. Like, I know it's cutthroat here, but like, I don't know, trying to get something out of these fools.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Insight. That is a 27.
Okay. I think you get a pretty good bead on Morton and Anaxasia.
Yeah.
What are the two of you like? What's your vibe during this?
This is not even close to the first presentation I've heard from Cheriel. They're long. They tend not to have much of any sort of effect on what I do and what my department does. If anything, my department is what brings more souls into our enterprise. So yeah, kind of just like quietly or not so quietly, sort of just, I don't know, annoyedly sitting through it with snide comments here and there.
I think Morton, with his hood up, is kind of not necessarily scowling at all this information, but like nodding along with a furrowed brow, looking at the retention of souls and how anything that's brought in doesn't immediately translate to it progressing, like regardless of how much work we do to bring in new souls. So he immediately notes an issue there, but we'll let that information stand on its own. He doesn't need to twist a knife in that yet.
So, Cherish, you kind of get the read on these two that they're like disapproving. You don't know if it's the methodology or if it's just the fact that it's this long-winded presentation at all. But the two of them are a little fed up with what's being presented to them.
Mm-hmm.
Modron, C4, incredibly difficult to read.
Yeah, I thought as much.
What is Sheriel's vibe during this presentation? Like, is it like genuine, upbeat, trying to sell something here?
Also, can she tell she's lost the audience, or is she
Yeah, like how oblivious is Sheriel to all of this? Because I think that's what Cherish also gets a read on Sheriel about, like how Sheriel thinks this presentation is going.
Cherish would pick up that Sheriel is not paying attention to the other 3.
I see.
Sheriel is really only talking to Cherish. And there might even be like a hint of like nervousness there in like an anticipation, like a kind of like a build up towards something.
Lost that hint of what?
Nervousness and maybe like a build up towards something.
Okay.
And yeah, the weird, because again, C4 is a pentadrone, so there's this weird like petal shaped thing with 5 tentacles kind of coming out of the central node that has a series of arms and legs that are concentrically like built around the outside, 5 in total, and each long tentacle thing has an eyeball near its like stalk base. You don't know where its voice is coming from because it doesn't have a mouth.
It does, on all 5 of the petals, have a business tie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a place of work, after all.
This is a place of work.
Mhm.
And I think that, like, the Modrons have, like, discovered that they are deeply off-putting and it's deeply inefficient to work with, like, organics in this way. And so they're like, yes, we will wear business attire. This will help.
Fixed.
Yeah, should say
suppose-
the eyeballs, like, as opposed to the rest of the pentadrone's body, are weirdly fleshy, as opposed to the, like, metallic nature of the rest of the Modron.
I suppose as a quick description of Sheriel, is like this glowing angelic being, but is obviously kind of like a fallen angel. So like instead of like a glowing light, it's more like blood red fire. But and adorned in like tarnished angelic armor, but then there's like a smart sports jacket like over the armor,
The shoulder pads are real.
Mm-hmm.
as if the armor maybe doesn't come
Spikes.
off. There is just like a flaming sword like at her hip.
What is her brooch?
Oh,
yes.
it is 100% the like religious symbol of Asmodeus.
Ah, okay.
But it's like so gaudy.
Yeah, it's like bejeweled as hell.
May I continue? Are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay.
If you must.
I guess, yeah. Does Cherish let Sheriel continue?
Once I have my beat on everybody, Cherish will prestidigitate the projector off, and say, Sheriel, there seems to be a malfunction with the projector. Why don't you just forward this to me later, and I'll work up the report and send it to Asmodeus.
Now, I was just about to get to the proposals, which is the most important part.
Well, why don't you speed
I
through that
really
real quick?
must insist. Thank you. I do not recommend option 1, which is the most conservative approach. Ultimately, it will lead to a force reduction in the BMC as we do not increase the time budget from our Modron companions, and the mortals will slowly die out due to a temporal hold on their biological functions. Option 2 does provide a long-term stability for the BMC. We would need to increase temporal budget overall to allow for mortal populations to stabilize. Ultimately, we would be bringing them all under the direct control of the BMC. There are issues with that plan, however. Most mortals, as our historical records show, will chafe under immortal rulership. It's only the specimens like our fine Mr. Bloodfeast here, who are you are most definitely an S plus soul right there. You've got you're a lemur in the future.
One can only hope.
That would not chafe under immortal rulership.
It's all about the pitch, though, isn't it?
Sure, but what if we don't have to directly intervene in their lives? That's where option 3 comes in. If we greatly increase the temporal budget to allow not just for stabilization, but for growth of mortal populations, we could encourage the growth of mortal-led societies.
Like breeding them to, cattle of some sort?
I suppose, but
Perhaps put
they
them in
would-
pods and feed off of their soul essence.
that's more of
That
an
power our society.
That's more of an option 2 thing, really.
Oh.
Option 3 would be free range. We could then promote ideas such as rugged idealism and societal cohesion for these societies. That way, we could start to ensure our influence on the trajectory of these societies and ensure that we have control over the levels of power if we need to make adjustments. We could monitor and control the 3 key factors of corruption, and then we could greatly expand BMC operations as aspirant intake goes through the roof. I would go on, but it sounds like you don't want to hear any more.
I just don't know where this funding is going to come from.
Well, that's the
It all sounds great on paper.
That's the great thing about option 3, is that it does not actually require, beyond an investment in the temporal budget, a great investment of BMC resources. We are allowing
Yes.
Well,
just a small measly matter of time as a resource. Yes, just a simple matter to increase temporal budget. No problem, no issue.
I am completely aware.
let
that
us
it is
not forget, Sheriel, that the M in BMC stands for Mechanus, which is part of our corporate family.
C4 is making like dial-up sounds that
Beer, beer.
Option 3 is an aggressive approach, but it has the greatest potential to yield us long-term results and allow us to extend our influence further than it ever has before.
Hey, Mike,
Mhm.
quick question.
Yeah.
The concept of magic going mad, is that something that is like known here, or was that like a valley thing?
Oh no, I mean that's a pretty widely, especially since
Okay.
the valley exploded and all the different iterations of the valley have sort of begun to influence culture and
Mhm.
how people discuss things. Like, what caused the great cataclysm that resulted in the royal? It is an event called the collapse most of the time, but
The
magic
collapse,
going
okay.
mad is also a great way of describing it because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. And Cherish would know kind of how things had been, the current kind of BMC status quo before Valley Break.
Mm-hmm.
And like, are stock prices higher now than they have ever been before, as so to speak, or have things been kind of running just fine as they have been?
It's it's like discovering a patch of oil in the middle of the ocean that doesn't necessarily belong to anyone. When mortals flooded the royal, and like, it's not even necessarily that mortals flooded the royal. It's the fact that all of these souls that were trapped in this cycle within the valley are now ensouling
grabs, quote
people
unquote.
out in the royal. Like, these populations existed already, but now there are just people, more and more of them these days, that come into being with this thing that people refer to as a soul. Now, that doesn't, having, like, no soul doesn't stop a person from having a long, healthy life and being an intelligent person, but, like, there's something intrinsic, something about the weave of magic, something in how the universe churns that creates this spark in mortals specifically. And that is happening more and more now throughout the Royal.
Okay. So
That is the only part of mortals that can be commodified, except for their blood and bone and organs sometimes.
so
That's
true.
true.
Yes.
Very true. So, based upon the 3 principles of the BMC, how are we going to grow as an organization and take advantage of this spring of souls within the Royal?
Well, that's an excellent question, Anaxasia. On the side of subliminal messaging and dream tampering, how has your department seen any increases or general changes?
Oh, fantastic. We've tried both positive and negative reinforcement through dreams and nightmares, both of which are equally effective. You see, there's a lot to be afraid of within the Royal, so we just throw it at them while they're sleeping and be like, hey, there's an answer.
Yes,
And
but
right as they
how does that inspire corruption in the mortal soul?
Oh, this is more to get them to take patronage within the BMC itself.
I see.
Yeah, as a
I may
Yugoloth,
be able.
The creature known as Anaxasia would be less concerned about, like, the commodity of souls. Like, they're not all up on the, like, recruit the souls to become part of the devil thing. Like, they're a third party entirely.
That's
But it
where
does work.
Morton comes in.
But it does work well, yes, with our cult
Mortals gotta
operations.
know we exist, you know.
and
They gotta
youth
know we
outreach.
exist and what we offer.
And I'm sure it's working well with the signage and more traditional forms of advertising as well. Going hand in hand, you see something in a dream, then you see it in real life. Looks like a sign.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cult operations, how have those been developing in the 5 years since Valley Break?
Well, Miss Ironstrike, I have good news and I have bad news. So which would you rather I start with?
Well, it doesn't look great for your job that there is bad news. Why don't you give me the good news first?
I would say we're all in the same boat here, us being the BMC. We all work together to make time go forward. So, I will start with the bad news.
Okay.
Get that out of the way. And options to remedy this situation. Currently, we are dealing with, as Cheryl pointed, a low uptake for new aspirants and retention of those aspirants, turning them into farmable souls, fuel, as they said. I would like to ask you, well, before I get to that, that is the main issue. Our soul uptake is low, lower than normal. But the nice thing about low numbers means that it can only go up.
Suppose that depends.
So, yes, Anaxasia?
I was just gonna say, what a cheerful way to think about utter failure.
Moving on.
Keep
Just
it
not
up.
even going to...
Way to go, champ.
Doing great. As you can see, mortals are fallible. And I'd like to ask you, what you all think about when you hear the word devil? Horns, perhaps, red skin, evil by nature. These are the images that mortals conjure when they think about the BMC, the Baator in the Baator-Mechanus Concordant, correct? Evil, devils, negatives that I previously mentioned. Now, what is the image that is conjured in your minds when you think of our direct competitor, the Fae? Wings, glitter, fun, sex, all of those things. Chaotic by nature, for sure, but not inherently evil. We thrive on aspirants, supplicants, new blood, new souls. Cult operations and youth outreach is focused on two things: engagement and retention. Who is the most willing to engage? The youth.
And
but
the
how?
Desperate.
Oh.
And the desperate. And the youth are always desperate for the next big thing. They want to be hip.
Very true.
They want to be cool. And we know how to do that when we've got time on our side. So, how do we retain them? Cult Operations has identified the key to do this, and it is all about branding. Regardless of the services that we provide, the BMC, it is the perception of the BMC that prevents this growth, this stagnation, so to speak. Our temporal budgeting, like Sheriel said, could be increased, but I see no need in increasing that.
It's a low buzzing sound from the background.
Exactly, C4. I concur. So, instead of allocating more time, what if we put more effort into, what is the word? Indoctrination. What if we didn't change, according to Sheriel's plans? We focused on two things: better efficiency at harvesting souls, and growing our soul intake by natural means rather than allocating more time via a budget. You influence the youth, and you will see natural growth, inherent adoption. We've seen a much higher aspirant retention level when providing positive messaging rather than the fear that I believe Annexatia mentioned. And when you provide that positive messaging that aligns and echoes with their own current beliefs, you find that they retain that mentality much longer. These are the themes, like hipness, sexiness, and the new element, I believe they are calling it Riz.
Out of character. I'm sorry, are you saying Asmodeus doesn't have Riz?
He does have Riz.
He
but
has
Asmodeus
aura. It's
isn't-
very different.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
very different. It's very different.
Riz
It's
is like
specifically
a diluted.
60-foot aura.
Also,
Yeah.
they're not putting him shirtless on the posters, so
It's
it doesn't really
true.
count.
He
Not
is
yet, we're not.
he is fiendishly clothed, pun intended.
Just to be clear, we do positive reinforcement as well. We're aware
Certainly.
that sex sells, and believe you me, we implement.
Fantastic. And are you doing any counter-measuring towards the Fae, our direct competitor?
Of course. You see, it's all about good and evil means nothing to the mortal man. It's all about safety and stability in chaotic times. They don't care who feeds them, just that somebody does.
That's
C4
where
is doing
society comes in.
C4 is doing whatever the Pentadrone version of like yesing and like hand in the air, like praise Jesus, like yes, I concur. In fact, I think the emphasis on evil is yet again ignoring half of your concordant. We are not at heart an evil corporation. We are at heart a corporation based on law and order. This is what mortals crave. This is how we bring success.
They will
That
throw their own spawn. Fire brings them security.
C4, that is very true. However, only one half of this concordant is involved in an unending blood war where we continually lose devils and must replace them with corrupted mortal souls.
Cherish, give me an insight check.
It seems like a you problem.
I mean, it kind of does.
Well, it is a we problem because we are an organization.
Ooh, that's really good. 30. That's how math works.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
My insight is crazy this season.
Apparently.
When the blood war is brought up, whomst amongst the table has a look of slight nervousness come across their face. Indeed.
I'm immortal. I don't know.
Cherish, you notice that Anaxasia, when the blood war comes up, there's this like slightly shrinking, like nervous tick that arises as the eel like adjusts their collar.
Flags into the business suit.
It's maybe not that obvious, but it's like with a 30, you definitely notice this like slight shifting of the glance and like kind of drawing in slightly. And it's at that point that a blaring horn goes off inside the business room and red lights appear all around you. And letters in infernal script appear dripping in blood across the wall that read, "Mandatory break. Work has proceeded. 15 minutes allocated."
I knew it. I was going to make a joke. I was like, oh, looks like it's stretch time.
At which point the door behind you onto the balcony unseals. You know that it's now very obvious that it was locked up until this point, and a small cascade of screams and grinding gear sounds erupts from the kitchen, and the fridge lets out a little pop as it opens. And there is a charcuterie board inside.
Ooh.
I think that at that point, Anaxasia reaches into their jacket, pulls out a tin case, like a tin case, pops it open. There's just a line of cigarettes, and offers one to Cherish.
Would you like to join me on the balcony? I have something I wish to speak with you about.
I was just about to ask you the same thing. I'm up for a smoke break.
Excellent.
If you don't mind me, I'm going to go stretch my wings.
I'm going to attempt to sell myself this pen.
Good luck with that, buddy.
So it sounds like Cherish and Anaxasia go out into the balcony. What is everyone else doing?
C4 stays perfectly still. There's like no change.
Okay.
I guess
Break time initiated.
I'll talk at C4.
Yeah, you do, but like the second the alarm goes off, there's no response. It's just like
It's mandated 15-minute break.
Yeah.
That is the
I'm going to
law.
go, like I said, stretch my wings, go out to the balcony, take off, fly around a little bit, enjoy the cool heat of this place.
Yeah. I mean, compared to some layers, yeah, this is the city of Brass is positively balmy.
Yeah, it's chilly today. It's a little chilly today. Oh,
Yeah,
should've
it's
worn a
only
sweater.
106.
Oh, is that all?
Once we're out on the balcony, I'll press to digitate my cigarette. Do you need a light?
Yes, please.
Boop. I don't say that, but
I think Anaxasia then just takes the whole cigarette, throws it in their mouth, and swallows it.
yeah.
And just a little poof of smoke comes out.
Now, does it come out of the mouth, or does it like wisp up from the torso around the neck of the eel?
Mike, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hit the spot.
quick cue before this conversation starts. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm sad that bringing it to your attention might change the answer. But did the doors stay open?
They can be closed behind whoever goes outside. They just unlocked. They didn't open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
I'll
but
close
then
the door behind
that's
us.
my question. Okay.
Yes. Most doors would be would close themselves for energy efficiency, temperature regulation.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, there is
Mhm.
temperature control.
Mm.
I think Anastasia just kind of like nervously looks around.
Is listening to this conversation.
I mean, not anyone else who, wouldn't be here.
Yes, you and me. Well, I just have to say I love the work that you do here.
What's going on with you in the Blood War?
It appears that the stalemate is not as much of a stalemate as it has been for a millennia. We, as in the devils, appear to be gaining some ground.
How long is
Cherish,
this?
give me a perception check.
Okay. It's not actually bad. Not when the roll's that bad, though. That is a 12.
Okay, continue.
How long has this been going on?
Let's see here. It appears to be a relatively recent change of events.
So we're not actually losing as many devils as we have before.
Not even close.
I see.
Someone's having a good time down there.
In the City of Brass, one person's having a good time, one person's suffering. That's how it goes.
Yes, I suppose it is. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware. But just do me one favor. Don't tell anyone that I told. I wanted you to be sure.
I won't tell anybody.
Excellent.
As you nod at each other, there is a slight scuff noise from a railing behind you, Cherish.
Oh no.
I'll look around real fast.
There doesn't appear to be anything there.
Oh.
Might have been one of those pigeons.
Do we have those?
Off in the distance, there's this huge, molten pigeon that descends and grabs somebody off the street and keeps flying.
Oh, yes. Right. How could I forget? Wait.
I'd like to land.
Sheriel lands nearby on the balcony.
And that's why I think that bugles are an underrated snack.
Well, that was a fascinating 15-minute oration about the benefits unseen of bugles as a snack.
Their creators are here.
I know.
How do you think it was made, the bugle?
We invented cholesterol.
It's so delicious and so terrible for you.
Some man standing at a crossroads at midnight. The devil appears. He's like, I'd like to make the best snack
Ever.
Clearly, it was made with a deal with a hag, because that's how you get the witch fingers.
The claw.
Oh, right. Should I change it to Funyuns?
Can I have made an attempt to try to lip read some of this conversation?
Oh, yeah,
Snoopy?
absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Your Modron eyes are perfectly capable of such a feat.
I do have a lot of them.
Yeah.
That is...
Or pentascopic view.
I don't need a roll.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I pulled
Your
up
Modron.
the pentadrone. Yeah. All right. Excellent.
Okay. Well, returning from this break.
Before you head inside, I would like to, Sheriel would say, Miss Ironstryke, one moment, please.
Of course.
And Anaxasia just standing there.
Don't mind me. Just going to have another cigarette.
You know, the big problem that we face really is heroes, mortal heroes. They are the main issue that we might face in the future. They have a tendency to get uppity, cause problems, and make changes. They really raise the level of hope amongst mortals, and that's problematic for what we're doing here.
Well, Sheriel, theories notwithstanding, there was no problem with mortal heroes and the amount of soul take before the collapse. I don't see why that should change.
Yes, but there were quite a bit more mortal souls in existence at that time, spread out over a vast cosmos of multiverses. Now everybody's kind of stuck all together.
From experience, I gotta say that doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Perhaps we're just thinking about it the wrong way. What is eternal despair but a general malaise, tedium for the rest of eternity? Now, you take hope away from somebody who had it in the first place. Now that is suffering. So perhaps the heroes are simply necessary to bring up the hopes of mortals so that we can snatch it away.
Looking at our historical records, I would say that a certain level of hope is necessary. But heroes have a tendency to shift things around a bit too much, shake things up, move things out of the status quo. And in an organization of law and order, what are we but the status quo?
Well, maybe we just need the right heroes in place.
At the
Maybe
exact
we do.
15-minute mark, in the middle of Morton saying something, C4 stands up, walks over to the window or the doors, and knock, knock, knock. 15 minutes has expired. It is time to resume the meeting.
Thank
and then
you,
I'll just walk back
15.
and sit back in my chair.
Morton, are you just prattling on to C4 for the entirety of this 15 minutes?
I was thinking about different ways. It's like, oh, yes, yes, C4, would you mind taking a look at some of my my sketches that the team has put together for new dream material? And it's all a bunch of scantily clad Asmodeus.
in various positions.
Um,
You
yes.
don't know if C4 responded because they don't make expressions.
There was
I will say a scantily clad Asmodeus looks exactly like Gambit from the Marvel swimsuit edition from back in the 90s. Look it up.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Pause the episode. To the internet. Everyone, we're giving you time. Go do it now.
Yeah. We'll be here when you're back.
No, but a few other things that he would have touched on, specifically like temporal things and budgeting and ways in which we could either stretch or, just time mumbo jumbo. But he would like go over things, then realize that C4 wasn't listening. Start on a new topic to see if that he could suss C4 out. No change. So yeah.
All right. Everyone gathers back inside. Take your seat. The floor is yours, Cherish.
Well, we've been talking a lot about time. And yet we have not heard from the only representative we have from the Mechanus side of the operation. C4?
This does seem a slight oversight. As I am the senior under-assistant sub-manager of temporal distribution mechanics, I do have some insight, but unfortunately not the authority to authorize any decisions we may come to as a group today. I will have to send it up the ladder, as you all would say. With that being said, temporal budgeting is very precise and very regulated. And it has been calculated to be at perfect use when used efficiently. Now, if the departments are finding that they're not able to use time well, at the end of the day, this comes to a failing on your organicness. I apologize. I don't mean to offend, but we have run the numbers, and we're giving you the exact amount of time that you need.
Interesting. We can always put some research into the efficiency of departments. There's no reason to assume that we're doing everything perfectly.
I think what you'll find is that from our side of things, it's not from acquisitions and cultivation, intake and cultivation. It's not about a lack of efficiency in our department. It's about a lack of efficiency in mortal biology. You see, mortals have certain biological needs that require time, require the flow of time to occur. They need to be able to produce offspring.
C4.
Gross.
Do you have... Sometimes it can be fun. I don't say that. C4, do you have the numbers on time allotted to any given mortal?
There's like a pause as C4 doesn't look away. C4 doesn't have a head. I keep doing this I keep making motions as if C4 is like humanoid at all. But there is like a moment of like withdrawnness as they're clearly like collating data. That's odd. There does not seem to be a specific amount of time designated to each mortal.
And you would know that that's pretty much an impossibility. Like, you can generate time in localities. Granting it to an individual is difficult.
Yeah.
I see. So it's dependent on where in the royal a soul may appear.
Correct. Or the physical space that a soul occupies at any given time.
Mm.
This is simply the way that production works.
It is the way that production has worked for countless untold eons before mortals were reintroduced. But now, mortals are here. Souls are here. And they require more time to get things done.
Question, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Have people been dying at
I was
lower
about
rates?
to ask that.
It depends where you are. Cherish, as your perception has been pretty much exclusively held within the city of Brass and Baator. You haven't seen much of the wider Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Within the city of Brass, there are certain areas where people age and die and are born and grow. That doesn't happen in Baator.
Right.
So, mortals can exist and continue, and again, the number of souls is what has increased. The number of mortals, it got really weird 5 years ago. And even to say years is only relative to areas controlled by the BMC. The BMC has created this dating system that they're enforcing in areas where time even exists. Elsewhere in the Royal,
How could anything get done?
Are children being born? Like, okay,
evidence would suggest yes. The tiny people that are starting to pop up, people are being born. But it is in BMC-controlled zones.
and the level of souls, the number of souls coming in is going down. That is where our problem lies. We can do all the outreach we want. We can take every measure. We can get a hold of every mortal soul in existence. But the fact of the matter remains, this is a numbers game, and those numbers are dwindling.
It doesn't help that there are other powers out in the Royal, like the Fae, that are cultivating their own crops, as it were.
Again, this seems a matter of efficiency and strategy, not a matter of more resource. For example, before the collapse, I believe mortals did have designated timelines on which they lived and died, and souls were being claimed then. What has changed? Let me clarify. What has changed on your end?
Thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't expecting to play C4 so
Such a catty robot.
Like, damn.
They deal in yes and no. Can't be their fault.
It's true.
5 years ago, we saw a grand uptick in soul intake. We had to completely restart this department 5 years ago. We hadn't existed for eons.
Yeah, what soul larva could be collected by Baator at post-collapse but before Valley Break were stuff you could steal from the Yugoloths and the demons.
So what is the proposed level of temporal delay that your department is requesting?
Enough for biological function to take its full course on a widespread area beyond the areas that we exert direct control over.
This paired with enough subliminal messaging to encourage additional souls being created, I feel would increase our retention a significant amount. Granted, increasing the number of souls does not guarantee we will have more retention. We need to ensure that our messaging is clear and corruptible.
That our market share is growing. Our department has identified through our historical records 3 key factors in the corruption of a
God,
mortal
here she
soul.
goes again. I don't say that out loud.
Selfishness.
Is it apathy? Is apathy one of them?
Apathy, yes. Apathy and hope. You want those 3 things very tight together. That way, you can maximize the corruption of mortal souls over a long period of time.
All well and good. Do you have numbers for this? The danger becomes when time is slowed or sped up. The effects can be chaotic. We wish to avoid those disturbances.
Perhaps you can inform us. How do the temporal budgets currently compare to temporal budgets pre-collapse?
So,
God, you're making me bulge.
the big difference between how, in theory, time was made pre-collapse was the plane of Mechanus existed pre-collapse.
Yes.
It does not anymore.
It is just a Mechanus, yeah. Yeah. You must understand, we are also dealing with a profound lack of resources. Simply put, production cannot remain as it was pre-collapse because Mechanus no longer exists. That is why such effort has been put into numbers, calculating the best use of time.
So what could be done to alleviate the resource consumption on your end while maintaining time output? What do you need to be able to increase the flow of time?
Computing.
Yeah.
Computing.
Computing.
Do we need to turn them back off
Yeah,
and back
just
on
like-
again?
Response loading.
404 error. Bad gateway.
Blue
505
screen up
information
there.
forbidden.
I have connectivity issues.
I don't know if there's
I was
an answer that
perhaps- yeah,
C4
I
would
was
have
gonna
for
say,
this.
I was like, I think perhaps I was unclear. Time is created by Mechanus itself. That is much smaller now. We create time as we can.
Oh, so it's about expanding Mechanus itself.
Computing. Potentially, yes.
So
There has been some study into pseudo-time. It is still in development. This would be an approximation of time that is not time itself, but is kind of like it.
Time adjacent.
We struggle with that because it is not one thing or another.
Fully,
Exactly. It is.
let me guess, fully hydrogenated time.
Diet time.
I am, in fact, legally required to use the term kind of like time because there is no other way to explain it. There is potential that this could be used in specifically mortal-centric time, or perhaps used in places that are not quite yet under BMC control.
They come in cans that say like 12 loco on it. Yeah.
How did you know?
Branding.
That'd be
It's like carcinization.
No.
Everything eventually becomes crab. Everything eventually
We
becomes
can't-
12 loco.
No, we can't. We can't.
bring
We
12
can't.
Loco into season 3. I refuse.
We have to have a new 12 Loco, a season.
Yeah, we got to find it organically.
Yeah.
Give me time. Give me time. I'll say something
Pseudo time.
dumb. It'll happen. Yeah, pseudo. Give me some pseudo time.
Some pseudo time, yeah.
See, through conversation, we have come up with a possible solution. Possible.
Cherish, behind you, the door leading into this place unseals. And you know your time here isn't up, but Asmodeus stands at the door and looks in at the meeting. He doesn't enter, he just glances in.
Morton waves. Oh my god.
Turn in chair. Bow.
Oh, apologies. Don't let me interrupt.
How close is the meeting to being quote unquote done?
You haven't even hit the halfway mark yet.
No, okay, great.
As this theory has come up, C4 will just begin to spit out like a bunch of numbers, like has suddenly been triggered in this meeting of like, oh, this actually could work, and is like the Modron version of stream of consciousness talking, but it is like incomprehensible. It's all and like quantum physics, and this goes on for about 10 minutes.
Okay. Are we able to talk over it, or is it also
Yeah,
loud?
yes.
Okay.
Nope.
We just have to raise our voices a little.
So we've discussed time, we've discussed outreach, we've discussed intake. Now, Sheriel, there was miraculously one part of your presentation that I actually found interesting. That the
her numbers have gone up.
Cheryl just remains like pleasantly like pseudo smiling. Mm-hmm.
So the soul intake, while the numbers are not quite where they have been in the past, you also mentioned that the quality is not where we would like it to be.
Yes, that is correct. You see,
Asmodeus will take a couple of steps into the room.
it's not just by assigning the law of large numbers to our soul, to our aspirate intakes, we make our outputs regular. We can expect certain percentages of our aspirants to come in at certain qualities. All of the 84.3% that are lost, they are still used. They have a use here. They are being consumed by the grades that we then end up using.
Asmodeus will
Yes.
walk behind some of you and move to face out at the window, his back to you all.
They are feeding the different grades of souls. We actually have to, after we identify the S plus grade, we have to segregate them lest the entire crop fall to their, well, the technical term we've come to is blood frenzy.
Now, this, was it 86.3%?
84.3.
84.3. Now, that's not a projected number. This is a real data point.
Yes, it is
Asmodeus
always.
will turn and move towards the side of the table that Sheriel sits on and is now standing behind her.
it is always 84.3%.
Consistently over the last 5 years since Valley Break.
So long as as we have our Modron companions, impose the law of large numbers on our intake, these percentages remain exactly the same.
Asmodeus will lean over the shoulder of Sheriel. His hand will whip out fast and grab the neck of an imp, and it will scream as he chokes the life out of it. And then slowly back up and away. The imp was invisible on the table until he grabbed it.
Like, how was it on the table? Like, was it like...
It was like
a French girl.
it was like lurking, kind of hunched on the table near Sheriel. And Asmodeus's like placid expression doesn't change as you hear us like a rough little crinkle, like a piece of celery being broken, and he just like the limp corpse of the imp he will like hold behind his back with both his hands and just continue walking a circle around the table.
Oh,
Just
was that
continuing
not
on.
with one of you?
That
My
was my assistant, but no worries. I can get another one. I can actually go raise up one of the aspirants to become my new assistant. But yes.
Is she allowed to do that?
Is that efficient? Is that efficient?
You
You think that's a good use of a soul?
Asmodeus will walk to the
I'm not saying
end
that.
of the table, set the corpse of the imp down in front of Cherish, looking directly at her, and ask, "How's the meeting going?"
Well, I've learned quite a bit about how these different departments are getting on. There's been great conversation about allocating resources and improving strategy.
Yes.
Well, you see, the soul intake is not quite where we would like it to be. Sheriel believes
According
that
to
this
whom?
is according to Sheriel in the Department of, oh, darling, what were you renaming it? Hopefully with authorization. Intake and aspirant
authorization has
intake
come
and
through.
cultivation.
Asmodeus's black eyes will turn towards Sheriel. According to whom is intake at insufficient levels?
The numbers we have received from budget management have indicated that
Budget
our intake,
management, you say?
yes.
I hope the rest of your meeting is as productive as my afternoon will be. If you need me, I will be visiting budget management. And
I'll
Asmodeus
make sure to not
leaves.
need you.
It's a good CEO. He's down there visiting people in the trenches.
He's
You know?
pulling he's pushing his sleeves up.
Yeah.
We're going to
Oh,
need
man.
a new office of budget management.
It would seem so. So,
The door closes behind
I
him and you
guess-
hear it lock.
I guess the new question is, how much can we trust budget management now with all of this?
Well, soon it sounds like they will all be dead. So, as much as you can trust a dead thing.
Ugh. That's just more people more positions that we need to fill.
Oh, would you like me to write that down for my report?
I apologize for my
I'll write it
outburst.
down for my report.
Very well.
Sheriel questioning management decisions. I don't say that out loud.
Not team player.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to be the CEO of the Baator-Mechanus? Did you want to run the Nine Hells?
No.
Oh, we had such a good thing going. Oh, I was still curious though.
I thought that was just an awesome power play.
No, Elliot froze slightly.
I was like, oh man,
Damn it.
that's
I was gonna
great.
say, someone clip it.
Yeah.
Was it just holding on my? I had one.
It's
more
just
question.
you were just
Yeah. You just said, well, so, and then it froze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, so I was still interested, again, miraculously, in the quality of soul in the intake. I know that we are going to maybe receive some different information, updated information from budget management. However, I would still like to know what kind of reports do you get when it comes to quality. Is it a menu on the floor? Is it's determined, or in coming in, is there a grade?
We grade aspirants as they arrive. We do preliminary grading. Some we can determine immediately. Others we have to make observations out in the killing fields. Grading is handled within our department. We have certain metrics that we follow every time to determine grades.
If you don't mind, would you mind sharing some of those metrics? It may help in identifying certain messaging.
Behavior is an important portion of what determines the grading. The more active, the more volatile that of the aspirant, the higher grade they typically receive. Your grades B through F mostly lay motionless. B's are somewhat more active, but and may engage in combat amongst each other, but are nowhere near active enough to actually successfully consume others.
And Cheriel, you would probably have examples of the different grades, like portfolio dossiers on, like, here is a fine example of, like, grade whatever soul.
Do you have any paperwork that I might be able to
like an
peruse?
AKC handbook?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cherish, you would recognize one of the faces of the, like, graded soul.
Like, example?
Yeah.
Swear to God, if it's Jeffathy Mike, I'm fighting you.
He's not even on there because he's too pure.
Okay, well, he's S++, you know?
There is an S plus, like, example of a soul of, like, it's labeled as, like, pre-rendered. So it's like, this is the example of, like, kind of soul you want to cultivate to create an S class. And you see the, like, golden swept-backed mane of Atticus Carter.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Well, that's all right.
Is this it that's in the portfolio?
That's in, like, the pamphlet that
okay.
Cheriel, like, puts out on the table, and, like, that information gets, like, handed around in, like, handouts to everyone else at the table.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would love to take a quick look over Atticus' fucking entry.
If you're interested, I can get you the full workup on any number. We keep detailed records on all aspirants.
What a handsome little worm thing. It's weird. He looks exactly like Brad Pitt.
Wait, is he a worm thing, but with flowing golden locks?
No. These are... Like,
That's just what Modron's...
Oh,
This is an example of like how a cultivated soul like is turned into the different grades. So it's like what when Sheriel is talking about behavior, they're talking about evil actions taken by mortals to corrupt their soul enough to create these different grades of soul larva.
Yeah.
Now, you do have to be careful because if you over cultivate them, then they're handpicked and they just go straight to promotion. They don't actually even go through the system.
Cherish,
No, I
give
do
me
miss
an
that.
insight
Cherish
check.
looking directly at the camera. She's talking about me.
Now, our dear Mr. Bloodfeast over here, that is definitely an S class or S plus soul right there.
I certainly try my best.
You are either going to end up in a soul coin or as a lemure.
Again, one can only hope.
For which
26.
one in particular do you for?
26. When Atticus Carter's face is slid across the table, who amongst the table reacts with a slight uncertainty and flinching manner?
As I reach for it, I was just a little too quick to reach and grab and look at this
I
this
see.
portfolio. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'll just want to peruse. I don't want to. I want to make sure the paperwork and everything is perfectly creased.
My head slithers out from the torso and sort of hovers over your shoulder. Just kind of
Again,
watching.
this is just Cherish picking up on this.
Oh, that's true. My perception's not as high.
I'm a man.
And these are the
No, my insight
qualities. These are the qualities of souls for any given batch. These are the quality of aspirants that we get for any given batch. The
I
numbers
see.
hold steady. The percentages hold steady at standard deviation marks. However, that is why it is important to increase the baseline number of intake. The more souls we get in, the more of each grade we get.
A couple of the bullet points, like Atticus Harter's picture doesn't list his name, but it lists like a series of bullet points of just like, this is what we're looking for out of an S class, S plus class, like corrupted soul. And the bullet points for this example are descendant from a good aligned outsider, and willingly corrupts others, and is engaged in active treason against the throne dukes and duchesses of the hells.
Now, this
Interesting.
is interesting here. In terms of qualities of an S plus, it does seem somewhat strange to me that we would find the qualities of treason against hell to be a favorite one. Explain that to me.
Yes, of course. It isn't specifically once the transition from alive to aspirant occurs, it isn't so much about the specifics of what they did during their lives as much as the measurable, quantifiable actions that they took. Treason against the hells, amongst any of us, would be, we'd be down with budget management right now.
Mm-hmm, we would, wouldn't we?
Yes,
However,
fields.
We cut to a like chain devil like slapping at a spreadsheet and blood smearing down across the graph.
As soon as you said we cut to, my brain immediately saw the scene in fucking Cabin in the Woods in the institute at the end. It's like, yeah, yep.
They don't retain the knowledge once they transition, and so it's really about just the capacity for corrupted evil acts that they have.
I see.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, for this specific individual,
Which individual? That one.
Oh yeah, the S plus candidate.
Okay, let me pull up my files. Although
Pass it along to somebody else.
Is this
specific one, or is that just a mock-up, Mike?
You would eventually find a file that is heavily redacted.
Oh well, that's weird.
Now, this mortal's out in the royal somewhere. Is this something our our cult operations, somebody that we could get our hands on early, maybe? Morton, any thoughts?
Most certainly, we can do a specialized, how would you want to say it? Snatch, grab, operation, black bag operation, whatever you want to call it, whatever's fun and hip. But we can find anyone.
We already did. I have the file.
Well, we have a file. We have a file, certainly, but I do not see a certain individual sitting in this room that matches that specific rendering.
And I can confirm that this individual has not gone through intake. So yeah, they are still out there somewhere.
Cherish in her mind. Damn it. We should have killed that guy when we had a chance. Whatever.
Now, with the outreach,
We don't want him.
No, actually, right. We didn't kill him on purpose. Yeah.
Specifically for outreach, typically we work in conjunction with our good our Cataloth here. What was your name again? I cannot for the life of me remember. This is not Morton saying it. I can't remember.
I cannot for the life of me.
Forgive me. I'm a mortal, and our brains are fallible from time to time.
You are forgiven just this once. It is annexatia.
Annexatia. Perhaps there is a joint operation we could begin to start some outreach to this specific individual for cultivation purposes.
Yes, I could send some dreams his way.
It does
Perhaps
seem,
some promises. Future riches.
It does seem highly efficient to select mortals that are already corrupting others and use them to further the BMC's mission statement.
Now, forgive me, but a soul like this would be a lemur or a soul coin?
A soul like this, well, the file itself is heavily redacted, so I can't make specific judgments, but based on the promotional materials here, that says it would be an S+. That, an S+ soul is a candidate to become for promotion, to become a lemur. 1 out of every 1,000 aspirants becomes a lemur. Of those lemurs, the numbers are 1 out of every about 10,000 actually get promoted up the ranks any further.
And we want to specifically avoid this individual being hand-selected, correct?
If you're hand-selected to progress beyond intake, you typically are going into the service of one of the high devils directly.
Everyone slowly glances at Cherish.
Thus sort of circumventing the entire process itself.
Yes.
So they would need to be a specially skilled individual for that leap to take place.
Oh, almost certainly.
Understood.
Well,
Cherish just is remaining beatific during this whole I have no idea who they're talking about.
And Cheryl is just happy to be explaining all of this stuff about souls.
Mm-hmm.
while it is important for the majority of candidates, of aspirants, to go through the process, it is not necessary for all aspirants to go through the process. For there can be special cases, that always have been. Those are your villains, your necromancers that have made a pact with a devil for power, your wild, crazy mages, cult leaders, people such as yourself.
The specific example in the provided documentation that you could all flip through is just a picture of a black red-eyed horse.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
love that horse.
He's great. That one's great.
Somewhere soft wickers in a field.
Now, speaking of those who are
corpses.
That's on the floor directly below where budget management was. Soph has already been through there.
Blood dripping.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about individuals who have assigned their soul, bargained their soul to an individual, perhaps a devil, when it comes to acquisition of souls, is there any impact on acquiring a soul that has been betrothed to another non-Baator-Mechanus Concordant entity? Is there any sort of negative side effects to that?
We have to get legal involved for that.
Oh, they are the worst of us.
Truly, scum among scum.
Just everyone at the table, complete agreement. Legal department is the absolute bottom of the barrel, vast depths of the pit levels of the BMC.
They say Asmodeus was the first lawyer.
It's true.
On
Yes.
the materials, potential, I suppose, in the historical records, potential professions for S plus mortals were among bureaucrats and lawyers,
Politicians.
as well as entertainment producers.
There is,
And
there is
used
absolutely
car
nothing
salesmen.
evil about bureaucracy.
Oh no, it's just that
Not inherently.
What about war profiteers? They're probably there somewhere.
oh yes, but then you start to get into the level of villainy. The
Yes,
villains have a
that's
tendency to move past the system.
more of an A or B.
Anyway, do you have any further questions?
Oh, I just find the process
Gods, I hope not.
quite interesting.
Wow.
I think my head slithers out towards C4, and I just say and I refer to Morton and Cherio. I'm like,
These two need to get a room or something. Jesus.
and then just
We are
needs-
currently at full volume. We are currently in a room.
So true, bestie.
As we have identified many times during this meeting, competition from the Fey courts as well as other extraplanar entities and organizations is a main challenge that we face.
Yes.
So maybe some attack ad dreams against the Fae, perhaps, and other entities.
Certainly, that paired with in more informative messaging, I think perhaps providing more information regarding the services that the BMC provides, that being time. People don't realize what they have until they've lost it.
And the Fae do tamper with temporal things as well,
It's very
highlighting
frustrating.
the dangers could be useful.
I believe
Go ahead.
I believe that great progress could be made in simply stymieing the expansion of their power bases. If we keep them confined to their cities, then outside of their cosmopolitan areas, they really have very little control.
Well, what do you recommend in limiting that?
Getting the mortals as far away from them as possible.
Now, that does present a problem, as with the major elemental cities, City of Brass being one of them. Metropolitan centers are where people congregate, and that is also where the ladies, or the queens?
Queens.
Where the queens have the most power.
It's true. That is very true.
The wild of the royal is not safe, as we so aptly put it here.
But we could foster places of safety where mortals could do as they might want.
A kind of White Lotus situation.
And you would have examples of places like that already exist. As like just recommended reading material, you would talk about places like Underberg, which is located on the far like western edge of the Royal. Even technically places like Barovia thrive without Fey influence, though that's not without its own domineering influences.
Unique challenges.
Thrive is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sense.
Sure.
Not perishing. Yeah.
But you have places like Dig City, which is like a mining co-op. You have the Glassworks, which is on the Obsidian Plateau, west of the City of Brass. There's places like Drogholt and the Alfart Rinden Berths. Like, there are locations that are like urban centers for mortals to exist that aren't influenced by the Fae. They're just not as big and as metropolis-like as the Fae cities.
And if we happened to make those places safer without necessarily directly controlling them, mortals might flock to them more, might grow societies there.
Here is a question I pose to you, C4. Does growing Mechanus, even via proxy, equate to additional time?
Answer not available.
I'll check back with you later.
Would be cool though.
That would be cool though.
How does with timeliness? Does time? The way you've described it before, does time? The way you described it, Mike, before is that like the farther away from the center of the royal you get, the more wibbly wobbly time becomes.
It's wibbly wobbly all over. You got to think of it like the Astral Sea in most places, where it's like people can move. It's not like things just stop, but like the essence and flow of things on like a metaphorical level stops. So like new ideas won't generate. Imagination doesn't work as much. People can't like grow and learn in the same way where time isn't happening.
And how does that...
People need to eat?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, yeah, like,
No.
Let's be real. You guys are thinking of like mortals would love to live in places without time. You gotta
Absolutely.
convince mortals
For
to
sure.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up. But before I do, to ask my actual question, does time not work in, or like how does time work in the Fey cities? It's just, it works, but it's super chaotic.
It depends on which city. Like in the city of Brass, where the BMC has a huge footprint,
Right. The
it
other
works
ones,
in like isolated areas that are controlled by the BMC just fine.
Okay.
In places like the Dancing Palace that are like really iron-fistedly controlled by the Fae, since their Jin Lord got tossed elsewhere.
Yeah.
Dang, that was a
Time
crazy
works
news last year.
Time works at the whim of the queen. A waltz at a ball could last an eternity if she wishes it to.
So it works, but it's just hella chaotic. Okay.
And what is time to a woman made of stone?
And just for like context, people would be like not okay with that because they'll get bored, but their bodies aren't going to break down or anything like that, right?
It depends on the person, right? Like,
Some people would love to live for it.
I mean, like, if you dance continuously, your bones are going to grind. And,
in that
you know,
particular
like,
example, yes, but
certain
like
things, yeah.
elsewhere in the royal, like a lot of people are perfectly happy to live an existence where they don't age, they don't go hungry and die, and like things never fade away necessarily. Now, things can't progress in a situation like that.
I will bring up the fallibility of your organic bodies, particularly in the sense of mortal organic bodies. Yours, for example.
Oh, C4, I'm acutely aware.
You are constantly decaying and creeping ever closer to death. You would not like... most things like you do not like that.
Well, they're wrong. How are they supposed to become a soul coin and or a lemure?
That is exactly the issue that we run into. Most...
It's all up here.
As much as I hate to say it, and as much as mortals should and often do crave stability and law, they also are beings of intense chaos. It is disgusting and icky.
I like to think of the two of them, those two things, chaos and order, operating in a bit of a sandwich. They love the safety of order on the two ends, but love to live chaotically between the two.
Precisely.
It's an
But
incredibly chaotic prosciutto in the middle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But based on my admittedly very limited experience with mortal kind, the ultimate law that they often wish to break is the law of death and time. We in Mechanus have been able to enforce that in ages past, but now that it is subject to other wills, this becomes an issue. There are plenty of mortals who just don't want our product.
And that is a matter of branding.
Or choice.
Life is about choices.
And why should we give them one?
Just give them false choices.
The illusion of choice.
Right.
Give them time whether they want it or not.
Cherish, what is going through your head
love
as you're hearing this discussion between corrupted cultists and planar beings and strange mechanical monstrosities?
I just don't
You
want
need
to be
another
here
cigarette?
anymore.
Do you need another cigarette?
Oh my god, Cherish, like having one cigarette, she was like dying for that, and now she's just like, I need to go and just run through a pack. Fuck, man, this sucks.
What
What
is
kind of
stopping
breed?
you from getting up and leaving?
The meeting is not over yet.
Sure.
What kind of read do I have on Cherish?
That's a good question.
That is
I'm
a good
curious about
question.
that too.
I guess, Cherish, are you doing anything to hide your...
Or
Yeah,
I'm so
she's.
overwhelmed by how fucking shitty we all are.
I think that she has been remaining in, the corporate mask is still on.
Give me a deception check.
Okay.
Ooh, I know mortals.
And no longer can I ask if someone is secretly a dragon. That went away.
Also, none of us are secretly dragons, very obviously.
But
And
it's fun
that's
to
when I
ask
pull
as
off
a
the
bit.
mask. No.
Wizards of the Coast has taken everything from me. That is a 23.
Please.
I think you all see this disaffected look on Cherish's face that isn't like dismissal or like vacant, but it's definitely like this is the face of someone who's here to do a job, to hear you out, and to decide something. You don't know the precise nature of which, but is clearly like in so many ways the perfect agent that Asmodeus would send in your midst, which is like just this like face of corporate banality that you can't necessarily read. Asmodeus is there to judge you for works, and you don't know the totality of like the project you're putting together. You all know what you bring to the BMC table, but you don't necessarily have this like larger scale view on it besides what's blasted on propaganda posters or what you're told to push out to mortals. Like Cherish, as and maybe even Morton to a limited extent, would have this like slightly off-center view of the BMC from the outsiders among you. And when I say outsiders, I mean like creatures of a planar nature. Mortals see the BMC as this like heavy-handed force for maybe not good, but stability in the Royal, which is just absolute chaos incarnate. Devils within the BMC see it as a matter of recruitment to funnel souls towards the Blood War. Yugoloths in the BMC see it as part of this larger scheme that they've played for millennia, playing on the devils and planar powers throughout the multiverse. Modrons see it as the last, like, effective means of lawful order that they can impose upon the multiverse.
Trying so hard.
They're bringing these alien methodologies to this organization that is inherently trying to achieve something close to what mortals used to know as normality.
True.
I'd
This brings me to my point, and actually the point that Cheryl just made, which is there should be no illusion of choice. We've talked about branding, and we've talked about getting the message out, but the message
The
is
sexy message.
Right. I do not have reproductive organs, so I don't quite get the appeal of that. But
Amen.
You're not the target audience.
the point being, law should just be law. It should just exist, and we should just impose it on nature and existence. That is how it has always worked. That is how it should work again. Right?
I'd like to speak telepathically to Cherish.
So we have not discussed this on the pod, but during our run-ups, I mentioned that Cherish casts and thought shield on herself every day.
Mm-hmm. This is
so.
True. So you get a mental knock on the door.
Do I can I tell who it's from when there is a knock?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. It's usually it's from Asmodeus, if it's from it.
Morton calling. It's Morton. Morton calling.
But he does that on purpose.
I don't say. I never
Wish
do
you said
anything
that out
to call you. Yeah, I say that out loud when I want to talk to you.
That's only a 17.
Yeah, you would at least know the direction that it's coming from, and it seems to be coming from Sheriel.
Like, crack the door open. What? Yes. Sorry, there is the corporate. Even in her head, there's... Yes.
And this is an above the table for a moment, but Sheriel is taking a swing, not sure, but taking a swing, and is just gonna say in your head, you know, you do still have a choice. You all still have choices. And you can choose to not be here.
Cherish, give me a religion check with advantage.
Okay.
Again, it's Morton. I don't know how many times I tell you.
At the table, there's law is law, and it should just be law. Just that going on.
Yes,
Fantastic, but you have to make the mortals understand that.
They don't need to understand it. It just needs to exist.
but they've had time without it.
That's only a 12.
You feel your hand
Eyes are high.
touch the pouch at your hip. There's this intrusive thought that maybe piggybacks on the psychic words in your head. And it's an intrusive thought you've definitely had before, because in the worst doldrums of the corporate hellscape that is the BMC, the thought that you could reach into a small pouch at your hip, draw a card from the deck of many things, and watch the world burn around you.
Just see what can happen.
And just see what happens. It makes your fingers itch as these words echo through you. You immediately know that, like, something's up with Sheriel. Like, obviously, like, an Aranis wouldn't say that to you.
No. I think that Cherish takes a moment to give the pouch, like, a pat to kind of, like, release herself from that thought and the moment, and I think simultaneously shuts the door in her mind. And she will kind of clear her throat. Well, I think we've had a very productive first meeting of the Special Projects Inspection team. It does seem to be we've hit a bit of a wall of sorts, made excellent progress, and I am looking forward to reporting this first meeting to Asmodeus and trying to see what we can get rolling from this. Thank you all so much for being here. If you could make your way out, and someone will be in contact with you soon. And she will close the folder and stand up. I think the door is still locked, though.
Do you walk towards the door?
Yes.
As you approach it, it unlocks and opens.
Oh, shit.
As the black door swings inward into Asmodeus' office.
Sheriel stands up as Cherish leaves.
And as the door closes behind her, you all still in the room hear it lock.
That's what I thought.
This room is booked for 2 hours.
Do you all like Parcheesi?
What the fuck is...
I don't do dairy.
No, it's a game. It's a game.
Or do you want to play dominoes?
That's
Cherish.
got cheese out. That's pizza.
Fuck off.
You find yourself back in the office of Asmodeus. He is not there.
Does this office have a bar?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very well stocked.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go pour myself a drink. I kind of I think she kind of like haphazardly just like throws the folder on his desk, back on his desk, and then goes and pours herself a drink.
And like the paperwork inside kind of like spills out from the manila folder and it like spreads out across his desk. You see there's still a pile of soul coins on one side and the little Rolodexes keep flitting on the other. His office is this like large, well-appointed corner office looking out over the city, and it seems like it is in direct line of sight with the palace on top of the forge at the center of the city of Brass. Like the two buildings are staring at each other from this position. But from here, you can also see the two other twisting spires of the BMC towers. From this position, if you look to the north and to the east, though, you can see miles and miles and miles away the black blemish on the horizon that is Devil's Reach, this huge volcano that rises up beyond the Obsidian Plateau that is the one, like, permanent portal to Baator in the region. You have to walk into a volcano to get to there.
Yeah.
But from here,
Yeah, you do.
Asmodeus can survey his domain. As you pour yourself a drink, the like flitting of Rolodexes filling the air around you, you look around and like there isn't much in the way of like decoration in this office. There is, however, one thing that kind of like stands out to you, and that is behind his desk on like a low shelf, there is this huge ornate hourglass that is tipped so that sand is like dribbling through down to the bottom. And it appears as though it is like about a little more than halfway poured out. And occasionally you'll see little grains of sand from the bottom of that hourglass go back up. But for the most part, it is coming down.
Hmm.
And it doesn't look like it has any kind of like flipping mechanism. So you're not quite sure how you would reset this thing. It is huge. And it appears to be like kind of bolted to this metal filigreed structure on top of this shelf.
Yeah, I think Cherish like walks over to the window and just sips while watching over everything.
Asmodeus here?
Mm-mm. Nope.
No.
Oh,
Can you
shit.
see? Is one of the things you can see like? Can you see into the royal, or are we too far like in, quote unquote?
You're in the center of this little octant of fire here, so you can't really see anything beyond this sea of flame that surrounds the city of Brass.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's out there.
Yeah.
To the south, there's a great swath of oceanic water. To the west, there is a trackless desert. To the southwest, there is the great maelstrom, the enormous chaos at the center of all things, where even the landmasses are slowly being pulled in and destroyed, as what's left of the multiverse is slowly consumed by the yawning, endless nothing that awaits beyond. When you're just about done with your drink, the door into the office opens, and Asmodeus walks in. He has a bit of a jaunty spring in his step, and his arms up to the elbow are covered in blood.
Yeah.
The cane he holds, kind of with a little jaunty step, he's kind of holding it halfway down and carrying it like a guy who's about to start tap dancing, is also covered in blood. And the ruby end of the scepter winks familiarly at you.
Oh, so budget management went well.
We had an enthusiastic conversation about expectations.
Hopefully Sheriel will get it some updated soon.
I expect the updated numbers by the end of the day. So,
Not.
What did you learn?
I learned that just about everyone here is doing soul grubbing asshole. And if a leadership position means that I have to sit through more insipid meetings, then I definitely don't want one. But I suppose that was the point, wasn't it?
Part of the point. And what of the special project?
Well, it looks like the blood war is more in our favor than one would expect or think.
Asmodeus will casually move around to behind his desk and place the ruby scepter kind of at the center, standing up, and it hovers ominously at the center of his desk and just slowly rotates, standing straight up. And he will turn and glance at the hourglass with the bottom half slightly more full, and he will say, "Yes, things have been progressing in some unfortunately unique directions."
Care to share?
Not until I get an answer from you.
Atticus Carter is on the BMC's radar. I couldn't get much out of Morton in the meeting, but maybe a follow-up.
And what is the special project? If the answer by the end of the meeting, curtailed even as it was, isn't obvious to you,
The expansion of soul intake? Creating more law across the royal?
he gets this disappointed look on his face. Really? Cherish. Very well. If that is all you took away from that meeting, I had hoped for more. But here we are.
I guess, can I make a roll?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. It's the problem with playing a character that... that is an 18.
Nothing Asmodeus ever does is obvious. He comes at things sideways. He is the original lawyer.
Yeah.
When Asmodeus asks you to walk into a situation, he wins no matter what. When he asks you about leadership, and then puts you in charge of a meeting, and then asks you what you learned, and asks you if you could figure out what the special project is, the test isn't some logic puzzle. Because while Asmodeus loves a complicated plan, what he loves way, way more is something extremely simple. So when he asks Cherish Ironstryke, what is the special project? What he means is, who is the special project?
Is it me?
It might be.
Might be. I think daddy issues coming out to play. I think when he gets the look of when he gets visibly disappointed, like, oh, I expected so much more from you. I think like the mask starts to slip, and like she kind of like gets angry, which is not normal for her in this life. So what? This is about my potential, about my abilities.
Is that your takeaway?
Whether I'm capable enough or not.
Capability is part of it. I find your existence intriguing, Cherish Ironstrike. Your search for answers is one that I, too, will benefit from, undoubtedly. But it is your willingness to play this role that I find more intriguing still. Why do you remain here? I think I know an answer, but I am curious if you do.
I have to.
Is that correct? We made a bargain. Indeed.
This was never...
He will glance over at his scepter. Glance over
This
to
wasn't
you.
the price, was it? It never was.
When you awoke here after Valley Break, you made certain assumptions. I never disabused you of these assumptions.
Why would you?
Curiosity, mostly. Though you've made fine use of the resources I've been able to provide. And as I said, your extracurricular activities aside, you've been quite a model to many who would join the Baator-Mechanus Concordant. A Mr. Bloodfeast is a fine example of one who follows in your footsteps.
So proud.
Because I think the answer to why you stay here is fear. You're afraid of what you might find should you leave this destroying safety, the certainty, and the time that the BMC gives you. And you look down at yourself, Cherish, and you've stayed in the City of Brass for the most part for the last 5 years. It's allowed you to grow into the woman you are now. Elsewhere in the Royal, there's a Grawl who hasn't changed all that much. There's a Cid who still has a youthful air about him. There is a Tirza whose countenance hasn't shifted all that much. But Cherish has grown older because she has stayed in the City of Brass. Asmodeus will look at you with a combination of, like, sad amusement. Just this kind of wistful look he gets. He will go over to his desk, pull open a drawer, and pull out a card. And he will show it to you. And the card is the Comet. And you stare at it for a long second, and you know that this card is a part of the deck of many things that rides at your hip.
I think her hand, like, instinctually, like, flexes the pouch.
And Asmodeus doesn't flinch as you grab for it. And he gestures with the card he has in his hand and says, "Please, look."
I can't do that, though?
You can.
Okay.
You just have... to activate the deck, you have to declare how many cards you're drawing.
Right. Yeah. She'll kind of... For some reason, she, like, doesn't take her eyes off of him. I don't know why, but that is the instinct. And she will kind of flip through them.
There are 20 some odd cards in the deck. And as of right now, you don't recognize any of them. You see a mage, you see a tavern, you see a fae, you see a ship, you see a dragon, you see a tower, a construct, humanoid, staff, a path, a tomb, a pit. These are no cards you recognize. The only one in existence you recognize right now is the one in the hands of Asmodeus, the Comet, that which brings ruin. and he will hand it out to you and say, freely given, without bargain or cost. Call it my 4th gift.
She'll take it.
I am calling in our bargain now. Something twists within the royal Cherish Ironstryke. Something which writhes like a snake pinned to a floorboard by a knife. He will look back at the hourglass. We are winning the blood war. And that is our timetable. And again, as you watch, the grains of sand are falling, but some are going back up. It's not falling fast. Something has happened that caused the collapse, that caused the royal, that is encroaching upon us from outside. I am putting you in charge of the Special Projects Task Group. You will have a discretionary budget and a team of your own selection. I leave the how and why to you. But, and he will gesture towards the cards in your hand, I think there is a good place to start. Chaos incarnate has multiplied, it seems.
Okay.
But most importantly, Cherish, I need you to leave. Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
And Asmodeus smiles. Very good. I will forward you the paperwork, but begin assembling a list of individuals you might want to help with this sort of task. I have a feeling I know one or two, perhaps.
I don't suppose this position overrides certain contracts others have made.
It might. You have a certain amount of authority now. I'll see to it.
Can I get Valor off the front?
That is an interesting interdepartmental proposition. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Know that such a request might garner certain additions in debt.
I understand.
Now that is a step without fear. And contracts appear on his desk, and he will, with a bloody hand, smear a signature across the bottom of them in blood that is not his.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, isn't it his, though? If
At
you
the
really
end.
think about it.
Cherish, when you leave the office of Asmodeus this day, you are confronted with something you weren't sure you would ever have again, and that is a modicum of freedom. There's still a bit of a leash on you, but there is a dark, scarlet hand pushing you out the nest right now. And now he will see if you can fly or not. Because those are your options right now. To fly or to fall.
To fall.
And I think exactly what trajectory Cherish Ironstryke will take will have to wait until the beginning of Season 3 of Material Components.
Yeah.
Flying is something that Cherish can literally do now.
I can literally do it! Sprouting beautiful golden dragon wings from my back and soaring through the skies.
And we might have to do that next time.
Ayy.
Because as always, you can find more Material Components and every show on the Punch Up Entertainment Network over on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@punchupentertainment. While you're there, make sure to check out our exclusive one-shots and mini-campaigns like the fantasy renaissance adventure, The Shadow Kingdom. Give us a like, a comment, or a subscribe. It really helps out. And if you want even more ways of helping us do what we do, please consider going over to our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/punchupent. That's punchupent. Becoming a patron unlocks all sorts of older Punch-Up shows and gives you access to our Discord, where the stalwart adventurers and myself hang out online. Thank you all so much for listening. And as always, the world is chaos, so please, be kind to each other.